And welcome to the Michael Zehr Show. Today's date is December 22nd, 2023. 3 more days until Christmas.
3 more days till Christmas.
Awesome,
It's
yes.
exciting, huh?
Yes.
And today, my special guest veterans that are joining us here at the Rising Eagle Studios at the Warrior Healing Center are Juanita Saez.
Yes, sir.
And then everybody knows Gunny from Gunny's Barbecue. So there are special guest veterans today. And so we thought we'd start off by focusing first on, I usually like to talk about the veteran and their service, and we're going to get to that real quick. But before I do that, let's talk about what's coming up on Christmas Eve on your brunch buffet.
Okay, on Christmas Eve from 11 to 3, we're going to actually do a Christmas Eve brunch buffet there's going to be lots of food. Prices are going to be adults $20.
Okay.
$15 for children and under.
And what's the menu going to be?
Well, we ran out of space, but pork, chicken, brisket. We're going to do fried fish. We have two different fried fishes. We have the Spanish rice. I don't know.
Is that fried catfish?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Beverly loves catfish.
I hope she shows up.
Well, she needs to
so
come
she's
by.
going to have to now, right?
Yeah, tostones, which is fried plantains.
Okay.
Garden salads, macaroni salads, tater tots, biscuits and gravy. We're going to have different desserts, flans, danishes, and some other goodies in there. Pasteles, which is not on here. We just ran out of space. But
right.
Be a lot more food.
And this is a dine-in, right? Yep. Where you could come in and sit down and. Yep. And how many guests can your restaurant accommodate?
Comfortably. Well, when we do the buffet, so we're going to use one room for just the buffet.
Okay.
Because we have two rooms.
Right.
In the other room, we can fit about 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So we're gonna
nice and comfy.
Yeah.
Great.
So we're gonna do dine in, but then we're also gonna do takeout. So folks
so you are
gonna
do takeout.
Yes, we've changed it up
a
little bit. So if folks want to come in, they can get what items they want, and they can get it for takeout as well.
Boxes.
And to-go boxes as well. So we're just trying to spread the holiday cheer. We know that Christmas Eve, a lot of folks are busy. They're trying to finish wrapping up their gifts and getting ready for Christmas Day. We just want to be able to do something special for the community. Gunny's Barbecue is always doing something for the community. So we just want to continue that tradition, especially for Christmas Eve. Just come down and have a great brunch buffet, and we look forward to seeing everyone that day.
And we were also talking off camera beforehand about veterans and how sometimes it can be a struggling time for them. And you said that you wanted to put out like a phone number for people or anything if they needed any kind of help or anything for that.
Absolutely.
I know I'm jumping around a
yeah,
little
you
bit
are,
here,
but that's totally
I like
okay.
to keep us on our toes,
well,
right?
yeah, you have me on my toes today this morning.
Good.
Well, let me just first say by saying this morning, good morning, everyone. I'm very honored to be here and talking to you, Mike. And then
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then also talking about my service, and then what Gunny's Barbecue is doing as well. But you mentioned something very important, and this is something that's enduring for veterans. Is not only during the holiday season, but some veterans may experience some hardships, and they may feel as though they're in a crisis situation. And I just want to put a plug out there to the Veterans Crisis Line.
Right.
If any veterans are experiencing any type of crisis, again, just go ahead and dial 988 and press the pound number 1, and that will connect veterans to a counselor. Or reach out to your local veterans clinic. Go down to Tucson if you can, just to get help. Because we don't want anyone to suffer in silence. And there are resources out there for veterans. Use those resources. Please don't feel ashamed or embarrassed just to reach out, whether it's just talking to somebody over the phone, just to get you through that emotion, or to get you through that particular time that you need to get over. So just wanted to put that out there. Dial 988 and press 1. That is the Veterans Crisis Line. So thank you for letting me mention that.
I'm glad that you shared that, because one of the big reasons the Warrior Healing Center got started was to help prevent veteran suicide. And when we have businesses like yourself and other leaders within the community that are stepping up and offering to help veterans and give them this information, it's valuable to them, and it could be life-saving. So thank you for sharing that. And I encourage veterans, you don't have to be alone.
No.
There are places you can go and hang out. You know, you could come here to the center. You could go to Gunny's, right? And hang out. And yeah, you don't have to be alone. That's why they do these special events.
Right, so we are closed Christmas Day, but we are going to be open again, as Gunny mentioned, Christmas Eve
Right.
from 11 to 3. So do
Yeah.
come out and share a meal with us.
Yeah.
If you're alone, just come to the buffet, and if we're available, we'll sit down with you, right? And we'll talk and things like that. But it is open to the public. Again, it's 11 to 3. It's $20 per person, meaning adult-wise, and then $15 for children under 12. We're going to have Christmas music playing. We have 2 TVs, and one of the TVs we're going to have a Christmas movie playing as well. So it's just a time to eat and just to have a great time.
And if you are a veteran and you're struggling financially and you can't afford the Christmas buffet, come in anyways, and then Gunny will let me know, and then I'll help pay for their meals for Christmas. Because we don't want people to be alone on Christmas Eve.
Nope.
Right?
That's correct.
So all you got to do is just bill me, and then I'll settle it with you.
Is there a cap?
No.
That you're okay.
No.
Okay. We may
Well,
have
I
a
mean,
line.
I
I think that's too
I
many
don't
people
wanna go to,
watching
like-
this right now.
I don't want to go to like $2,000.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say I could pick up at least 10 meals. That's 200
10 meals.
bucks. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's great.
So
10
if
meals.
you get people that come in, and because I too am very passionate about our veterans and giving them a place where they can go and feel some joy for Christmas, some hope, and feel the Christmas spirit. And that's what it's about, right? Helping each other.
So-
That's the Christmas spirit.
Absolutely. So
Give
10
them-
meals, they just have to show that they're a veteran, and we can go ahead and give them a complimentary meal. So thank you, Mike, so much for that.
And then Rob Robertson said that, hey, Gunny, we will be at the buffet on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Rob.
So
All right, sounds good. Come say hi to us. If
Yeah.
I'm not out there, tell Gunny to come pull me back from the kitchen, and I'll come on out. Shake your hand.
All right, Juanita. So
right.
let's get to know a little bit
Oh,
about
wow.
you now. Now the
Okay.
focus shifts onto you.
So,
So tell us, what was it that inspired you to join the military, and what branch did you join?
So, I'll just start off with what branch. So, at Army all the way. I know we have a Marine here, and sir, you are
I'm Army.
Army. So I'll just scoot over here
Go
closer.
go green.
go Army, right? So I actually come from a family of really great warriors and those that served in the military, specifically in the Army. My mother is a veteran herself in the Army. My father served in the
Wow.
Army in the signal branch, and then my mother was admin at the time. My uncles were colonels in the Army. One was an admin officer, another one was a physician, another one was a chaplain. So I come from a line of military service persons, people, members. So it was, for me, it was for a tradition. I started later in life. I went to college first. I didn't do ROTC, graduated college, and then I enlisted in the Army Reserves, and I spent 12 years in the Army Reserves, and throughout my time there, I was deployed twice.
Okay.
Once in Bosnia, and then second in Afghanistan. Right after 9/11, I was actually doing my AT when 9/11 happened in my unit in New York. So we were pretty much activated a little bit after that, and from my understanding, we were the second rotation in Afghanistan. So there was very limited resources there. Spent some time there, and then came back, did my reserve time, and then I transitioned. I was very fortunate. I transitioned into the Federal Civilian Service.
Okay.
So I've been a Federal Civilian Army employee for about 15 years.
Okay.
And I am a current remote employee that works for the Pentagon. So I do administrative actions for the Secretary of the Army there, working on Army programs. So that's what I do currently full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're busy.
Very busy, very busy. But it's something that I felt really honored to do, was to transition from my soldier life to a civilian life, and then also serving within a military component, and for me it was the Army. So on my spare time, I help out Gunny at Gunny's Barbecue.
Yeah.
I have
You have spare time.
I have
Okay.
spare time. Time management. Everybody knows in the military, time management
Yeah.
is going to kill you. If you can't figure that out, then you're going to have issues there. So pretty good with time management. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She's about to graduate high school. She's going to ASU. We're excited about
ASU?
that. ASU, yes. Go
Engineering
Forks,
program.
right?
I'm a Wildcat.
Oh,
but
no.
That's okay.
That's okay. So
We
she,
still love our Arizona students, no matter what school they go to.
yes. So
I know there's just a lot of ribbing between U of A and ASU.
Oh,
so,
tons.
Yeah.
Tons, absolutely. But that's what keeps Arizona
Yep.
really competitive there. So I'm excited about that. And I guess let me just talk about my military career, right? So I
Yeah.
did
So what
civil
year was it that
affairs.
you went into the reserves? What year was it?
Oh, wow. So I don't want to date myself with my age. Let's just say it was in the 1990s
Okay.
that I went into the Army Reserves. And I enlisted as a civil affairs psychological operations specialist. And I did that for my whole really military career.
What does that entail?
So very, very unique MOS to have. So we did humanitarian support when we were downrange doing that. Part of civil military operations as well. In Afghanistan, I was part of an economic team, did some security with some of the locals there, and doing a lot of host nation support. So if we have any civil affairs psychological operations folks out there, hello.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. Hello out there. And during my service in Afghanistan, I did receive a Bronze Star for some of the things that I did out
Wow.
there, and the team did as well, right?
Wow.
So yeah, it was being in the military is an adventure.
Not everybody gets that.
Well,
Bronze Star. That's
it is. Everybody's service is important to me.
right.
So just want to say, I honor everyone in their service. Although I'm not in the military anymore, it really, in my heart, veterans are very important to me. Children of veterans, military spouses, active duty personnel, that's just something, that's the community I was raised in.
Right.
And that's just the community I'm comfortable in working in and living in. And Sierra Vista is a great place for that because we have tons of veterans here. We have active duty members here as well. So I feel at home here.
So
sure.
Share with us, if you would, please. Where were you born and raised in? What area?
Yeah. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Brooklyn in the house right here.
Yeah.
And because I was a military brat, I've been really practically to a lot of states.
I've moved around quite a bit.
Yes. So my
Okay.
father was active duty. Of course, Fort Gordon. Everyone knows for Signal. Fort Gordon. We moved there. Colorado Springs. We lived there as well. So moved around a lot as a child. Went to college in California. Studied public administration. And took some MOS classes in legal too. So I had a second skill identifier in legal as well. What else? That's pretty much me. I love cats.
Well, the reason why I asked you that is because I wanted to ask you what it was like for you. What was your first experience growing up here in America and being an Army dependent and stuff, and then you're active duty, and then you go to a country like Afghanistan. What was that experience like for you? What was the culture,
Sure.
the area and everything? What was that? Share that with us if you would.
Right. So my MOS really is civil affairs. During the training, you have to go to MOS school. They teach you about your host nation countries, the culture
Okay.
there, the language. Although I didn't do well with my language identifier for
No.
foreign language, we did have to, be familiar, have some proficiency in the countries that we went to. So for me, my experience was the military provided me that training to be able to be effective in going downrange. I was a little bit older when I got deployed, so I was a little bit older. I had a college, I had a college degree, so I knew what I needed to expect. But of course, you don't know what you don't know until you go downrange.
Right.
You have to be really flexible being in that type of environment. For sure, we don't go in and assume that our values onto others. That's the number one premise is we don't do that. You have to respect the host nation that you go to,
Right.
and then execute whatever operation and task you have to do at that point. So for me, it was an eye-opening experience, very valuable for me to really appreciate where I have come from, not only my culture, we're Puerto Rican here, but also as an American, what we value here is really reinforced when you go overseas because you don't have those particular rights and things over there. So when you come back, you really appreciate your country a lot more and the people that are there and the people that fight for the country. So it was a great experience for myself. Would I do it again? Well, I in my heart I would, but I don't know if I could. If I could actually pass the PT test for that. But it was a very valuable experience for me personally. And I was honored to go and serve my country, not only in Afghanistan, but Bosnia was a different type of conflict there.
Right.
So overall, great experience. Love the military. Love the people that serve.
It's just that we have all these freedoms and rights and stuff in our country. And then you go to a country like Afghanistan, where at the time women weren't allowed to probably hold a job and their education was very limited and stuff like that. And then we went in there and liberated, and then women started getting, jobs and getting their education. Yeah.
Right.
And so we put a lot of opportunity, a lot of effort and stuff into helping them. And then when we withdrew and then the Taliban took back over again, then these women, some of them that grew up with those freedoms and rights, all of a sudden that's taken away from them again. And I can't imagine what that must be like for them and what the women there in Afghanistan are going through.
So you mentioned something, right? It's been a while since I was deployed there, but one of the tasks, one of the missions we had was to build schools, women's schools specifically. Girls' schools, and I was part of that to build the girls' schools. When I was there, during our free time, I received permission to go and just instruct English to the women down there, and just having that interaction, it just made me very aware of how different countries, treat their citizens in a way,
right.
And it really gave me an eye-opening experience on the different values and freedoms that we have in the United States that other countries don't. So I'm not going to get political here.
No.
It's just
life.
It's
though.
life. It's different. So regardless of how the outcome happened, everyone who's been deployed, just remember that everything that you did have an impact. Maybe not in a large scale, but you did impact somebody's life. And do find value in that for sure. Definitely,
very well said too.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know. I just feel for the people there and what they're going through and the struggles that they're happening to go back through again. And it's just I don't want to get sad or depressed.
No, because it's Christmas.
Yeah,
and
Christmas.
I love your hat, right? Your Santa hat.
Thank you. So tell me, how many when you were in the
Deployed.
reserves, you went active. How long were you active for?
Right. So my first deployment to Bosnia was, I want to say, about 8 months. Really little, right, folks?
Okay.
And then to Afghanistan, looking at the traditional deployment cycle for reservists was about a year.
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't have a family. I had no children, so it was not as difficult as maybe some other folks that do get deployed and have families back in the United States. So I was able to deploy without that added stress, right?
Okay.
To do what I needed to do to support the team and then also the Army. Again, we all, if those that have been deployed and they had an opportunity to do R&R, you want to take advantage of that and do R&R overseas if you can, if there's an opportunity to do that. For my R&R, our team went to Hungary, did bungee jumping in Hungary.
Wow.
Not a smart thing because the standards for bungee jumping are very different. The safety standards.
Safety protocol.
Yeah. So, when you're young, you live on the edge, literally, on the edge a little bit. But yeah, very, very rewarding for me. Great experience.
How many different areas different reserve units were you assigned to?
So not that many in civil affairs and psychological operations. It's a small community. So I want to say I was about 5. So I joined in New York City, in the New York area. So I was at the 403rd Civil Affairs Battalion in Mattydale, New York. And I did some time there. I deployed with them both times out of Mattydale. And then our brigade was in Georgia, and then we had a command that was in Maryland as well. So my units were really more on the East Coast, but Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations has units, obviously within the United States. And those that are not familiar with Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations, the majority of their units are reserve based, but they do have, from my understanding, one active duty Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations command or battalion, and it's attached to USASOC.
Okay.
So the active duty component, they really do support the special operations community as well with some of those sensitive programs that they run.
So when you're on your reserve duty, well, how does that work? Is that 1 weekend a month and then 2 or 3 weeks?
Right. So
the year?
Right. So I'm not in the reserves anymore, but
But when you were?
when I was.
When it was.
Yep. So whether you're National Guard or you're an Army reservist, you do your 1 weekend a month, and then you do your 2 weeks out of the year. Of course, depending on which unit you are assigned to, there's opportunities to go on ADT orders, which is for a month or 2 months, depending on funding. So if you have, we have a lot of veterans here that are listening, so I'm not going to really do the recruiting piece, but part of working for the Pentagon, it's really important that we talk about retention and recruiting. But if there's anybody listening that is thinking about joining the military, highly encourage you to go out there, talk to recruiters, see if it's something that works for you. If active duty doesn't work for you, the Army Reserves and National Guard is a great supplement or complement to wanting to give back to your community in a service component type. If you want to serve your community in the military, the Reserves and National Guard is probably a good way to go as well, because there's that flexibility where you can work full time in the private sector, but then also you can serve your country on the side as well.
Did you find that any of the stuff that you learned while in the reserves had a positive influence on your civilian
absolutely
career?
Absolutely, right? So I was unique. I was able to transfer into the federal government working straight for the Army. So just the culture, understanding the organizational structure, the culture of what it is to work in the Army as an institution, as an enterprise, it was seamless for me. I just changed my attire, my work attire. I didn't have to wear my uniform. I just wore civilian clothes, but the culture remained the same. So for me, my experience was pretty much seamless.
Okay.
It was very easy for me to transition to the military to the civilian side. But, there are some people that have that difficulty with transitioning from military to the civilian service. I'm an HR specialist working for the Army right now as a civilian. So maybe some tips is look at USA jobs, see if what jobs meet your transferable skills when you're in the military, and apply for those positions in USA jobs. So if this whole conversation, if folks that are listening, you forget one thing, use the resume that's on USA Jobs, the template they provide you to apply for those positions. And also use your veterans preference, right? Because there's federal laws that does allow veteran or military members who are honorably discharged to utilize their veterans preference if they meet that criteria.
Right.
So do take some time and commitment to transitioning from the military to the civilian service, specifically in the federal civilian service, whichever agency you want to work for. You don't have to work for a military component agency. You can work for other federal government agencies as well. Okay. Your veterans preference, your veterans eligibility follows you all the way through all federal agencies as well. So just wanted to share that with
Thank
some
you for
folks.
that.
Absolutely.
And if you would, please, looking back, share with us one of your fondest memories of wearing the uniform.
Wow. So I don't want to incriminate myself too much here. Tons of memories when you're deployed overseas in the box. I guess one of the funniest memories where I was in Afghanistan, but I was part of the PRT, so I moved all over Afghanistan. Another job was to help build the PRTs.
Okay.
which is the provisional areas. So we developed little areas. We help support the little areas in Afghanistan. But we were all coming back to Bagram Air Force Base, for those that may be familiar. And there was an area where you're about to go back home to redeploy back home. So you have to stay there for about 2 weeks. We were very creative, as civil affairs specialists usually are, to acquire some material. So we got some huge, big, like, containers or carts, and we made like a pool because it was hot. It's hot. It's hot in Afghanistan in the summertime, folks. So we got some equipment, and we made like a makeshift pool. It's like a 3-foot pool, and like 10 of us are just sitting there, just trying to chill out in the pool, and that was really fun. That was very memorable, fun, because in civil affairs you break out in teams and you go to different areas in the country to execute your mission. So all the teams came together and we built this pool, mini pool, and we just chilled. Had a barbecue.
Why did you have a 2-week layover?
Well, it's to bring the other teams back from the different base camps.
Okay.
And you have to do equipment checks, just basic things like that, before you're about to do left seat, right seat with the new team coming in.
Okay.
So that was very fun, and I have a picture, but I won't share. That was fun, but those are tons
now
of memories.
inquiring minds want to know.
Right? Yeah, no, not gonna share. There's probably copyright releases for everybody that's in that pool. But but that's something that's very unique about being a service member or being in the service at one point, is the camaraderie that you develop is not just that one deployment. Some of these relationships are lifetime. And you may not experience that working in the private sector, right?
Right.
So that is just another wonderful thing about serving your country, being in the military, is the camaraderie and the lifetime friendships that you have. And oh, by the way, let me just say and share something is, Gunny and I did not know each other at all. Okay. And what connected us was the military service, right? And then, of course, us being both Puerto Rican, that just brought us together. And I consider him my friend and my fellow veteran and all those things, but total stranger, right?
We're from the same neighborhood, too.
Yeah, and from the same neighborhood, and we didn't even know it.
Wow.
So, being a veteran, being in the military, you just have that camaraderie and that lifetime friendship. I mean, you may not have best buddies, but you still have that camaraderie and that friendship that you can depend on each other no matter what. No judgment, right?
Right.
So I can't say enough about just my service in the military, and I can't say enough about what your organization does too for Sierra Vista and then for folks that live in Cochise County. So the Warrior Healing Center is a very, very important organization here in Sierra Vista, and folks may not be aware of, but there are multiple services that are available within the center here. And folks utilize it, right?
Right.
Utilize it, provide your feedback. It is so important because this is for us. And, we have to also give back to the center too if we can. So I see it as a 360 thing. If you need it, use it. If you can provide support, go ahead and do that as well. So I just want to say thank you too as well.
Well, we had a bagel and brew yesterday.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to attend it, but again, it was another really good turnout from what I heard, and the food that they put out and everything that they do for the veteran community and their family, and all the services that they offer here, and it's all free. Doesn't cost them anything but their time. So
right, and we actually came yesterday.
We did come.
Did you?
Yes, we were here yesterday. First time for me coming, and I was like, oh wow, this is free.
Yeah.
And great conversations that we had. Total strangers, didn't know, but we had great veterans, right? But we had great conversations.
Yeah.
So really, really, again.
And made some new friendships.
And this is their community, right? So I understand that, COVID is over and some people may be reluctant. Just come out, of course, to your comfort level and come out and be engaged. Be engaged in your community in any capacity that you can, because we're one team. Yeah. We're one team here.
Share with us, if you would, how did you end up coming to Cochise County?
Right. So, again, that federal civilian career working for the Army brought me to Fort Huachuca.
Okay.
So, prior to coming to Fort Huachuca, I was at DLI, the Presidio of Monterey.
Okay.
I was working there for DLI for the garrison as a civilian. And then prior to that, I was at Fort Knox. I did drug testing. So I was the urinalysis person there.
What year did you get here?
So I've been here for 7 years.
7 years? Okay.
7 years. And I guess the thing is, Fort we got you. I hear
Right.
that's one of the slogans.
Fort, we got you, and you're
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
And you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm one of those folks that fell into
Yeah.
to that slogan there. So I was at Fort Knox, and then I was at Fort Totten in New York as well. So I've been around. And great experience.
And do you like it here? Or are you
I
planning
do.
on staying here, you think?
I
or?
do, yeah. I like it's very affordable. Again, it's the community is a great community. It's growing. The economy
Right.
is growing in Sierra Vista. Small businesses are growing here. Another advocate for small businesses right here. Very important, especially veterans owned.
Veteran-owned businesses,
Yes,
that's right. They have a
yes.
network here at the Warrior Healing Center that support the veteran-owned businesses.
Right, and what's really unique is that, Sierra Vista is really small, and we have a lot of veteran-owned businesses here.
Mhm.
But I have to say, we all support each other.
Right.
So Gunny's Barbecue, he volunteered with Doc's Watering Hole, and we're like, what? But veterans
Mhm.
are helping veterans.
Yep.
Some other veteran-owned businesses that Gunny has helped out is Roadrunner Pizza, right?
Pizza.
Roadrunner Pizza,
Bussin' Pizza.
Bussin' Pizza. We
Dogs.
have
You had the food
Buzz
truck
Dogs.
Fridays at your center for quite a while.
Yep, we'll be
Are
starting.
you still doing that again or no?
Well, everybody's the holidays, so
Right.
we're gonna start it back up again after the new year.
Because I saw a bunch of food trucks sitting in your
Yeah, they're
in your
waiting.
lot there,
They're
waiting.
and we still haven't done our grand opening yet, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's that going to be? Do you know yet?
we're looking at probably next month.
Or is it hush
March.
hush?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
still
March?
working on staff. We need staff.
Right. So
Talk
Need a
about
body.
that.
Right, yeah. So we're hiring. So
We're
if you're
hiring.
interested in working for a small business, again, it's a small business, veteran-owned business. We're looking for you. So it's really more of a food server / manager to run the restaurant. And if you
Okay.
have food service experience, that is a plus. If you have your food protection management certification, that's a triple plus.
Yeah.
So the hours are that the individual would be working is when the restaurant is open, and then also getting experience on how to run a food truck. So Gunny still has his food truck operations
Right.
as well. So he's just expanded it going into a brick and mortar restaurant, and it's not only a restaurant, it's also an event center. So if you have
Mhm.
a birthday party, a wedding,
Retirement ceremony.
retirement
Yeah.
ceremony, just meetings, regular meetings
Right.
that you want to hold, come down to the event center, check it out and see if it's the space that you want. If you want to cater, if you want us to cater, that's fine. If you just want to use the space, that's okay too.
Mhm.
So it's also a vet center as well, and then an event center, and then he also does catering on the side. So
Right.
it's we need more folks to help out with just the whole operation.
I remember when Gunny first was talking about taking over the building, and he said, "Well, I don't know how this is going to work at first because you had events. You said planned up all the way through December. Guess what? We're in December now.
And I still have.
We're still
on
pumping out
Saturday-
events.
We got events on Saturday. This Saturday I'll be in Huachuca City, and then on the 20th and 29th I'll be in Sonoma, and I believe that'll be the last.
Okay. And what about for the new year? You guys think coming up in January, like for Martin Luther King Day or
Martin
anything?
Luther King, actually, the mayor and his wife they're going to be doing something at the
Veterans Park.
at Veterans Park. Yes, so
Yes.
we'll be there.
And you'll be there. Okay.
And then already February 20 something I have.
We just got a
We
catering
just got
dig
catering already. in
yesterday. So yeah, so think of us. Come out if you want to sample the food. Come out and sample the food as well. We're expanding our menu, so
Yes, also
I'm gonna let
that.
Gunny talk about just some of the fun things we're trying to do to expand our menu. So I'll let Gunny turn that
Yeah,
over to you.
please.
So I got a few things. So Wednesday, our operations are Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
But Wednesday, what we plan on doing, because I have a big menu, and so we're gonna do burgers. All our burgers are gonna be on Wednesdays, and I got quite a few burgers.
Okay.
So Wednesdays burgers. Thursdays is T-shirt Thursdays. Wear your T-shirt, you get 50% off your bill.
How much?
50% off your bill.
50?
50.
Wow.
Off your bill.
Thursday, wear
Wow.
your t-shirt.
Wear your t-shirts.
Come purchase a t-shirt,
Yep.
wear your t-shirt.
T-shirt.
Thursday.
How much are the t-shirts?
T-shirts are $30.
$30, okay.
$30. Okay, so that's t-shirt Thursdays. Fridays is our regular menu.
Okay.
And then Saturdays, we're thinking about doing sausage Saturdays.
Sausage Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Huh?
Tell them what type of sausages.
Sausages will be, you know, the hot dogs, the Rob specials, the bratwurst, the Italian sausages. But we also added sides as far as mozzarella sticks, mac and cheese bites,
Okay.
jalapeno poppers, and then also fish,
Okay.
Catfish.
and
That's
codfish.
and codfish on Sundays.
On Sundays.
Okay.
Sundays will be, instead of Fish Fry Fridays, we're going to do still Food Truck Fridays, but Sundays will be our fish.
Or fish.
Because some
Okay.
people, like, you know, after church or whatever, don't want to eat
Right.
meat on Sundays. So Sundays will be fish.
In addition to the regular menu that we have.
Yeah. Sundays is the family fun day, Gunny fun day, and we switch up the menu. So we'll have a special, but definitely want to introduce the fish.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah. So.
And like I said, I know somebody here at the Warrior Healing Center that loves her catfish. So.
And we also have wings, so we'll have a wing day as well.
Oh,
So Burger
okay.
Day, Wing Day, Sausage Saturdays.
Sausage Saturdays, yeah, brat. The brats are good.
The brats are really good. 'Cause you
Put
got
some
brats
pulled
today.
pork on top of the brat, or some brisket on the brat, and call it a
Now
day.
you're making me hungry.
Yeah, the
Some
names.
jalapenos, call it a day.
Do you have any last
Excuse me.
words of wisdom or any kind of inspiration or anything that you'd like to leave us with before we sign off here?
I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Don't forget, you know, what it's all about and who it's all about, and that, you know, just a little extra, you know, TLC for everyone. Just love everybody.
Jesus is the reason for the season, is what they say.
Yeah, so just if you're alone, again, I'm going to put it out there. If you're alone, come out, right? 10,
Yep,
10, we
10
have
meals.
10 meals to some vets. Come out and that's Sunday from 11 to 3. And just come enjoy time with us. And if you can't do that and you feel alone, again, it's 988, press number 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line. And we'll get through this together. Everybody, we're going to get through this together. You're not alone. And please, please have a safe and happy holidays to you and your family.
And your families.
Well, I can't thank you both enough for taking time out and coming in and sitting down and sharing with us. And again, with it being Christmas, Merry Christmas to everybody as well. I do have a couple really quick announcements to
Sure.
run through here real quick, and then we'll sign off if you don't mind hanging out for just a second. Coming up on Monday is obviously Christmas. The Warrior Healing Center is going to have a Christmas spectacular football and movies. They're going to be doing it here at the Warrior Healing Center's conference room. That starts at 1000 hours and goes to 1600 hours. And that's on Christmas Day. So if you're a veteran and you don't have any plans for Christmas, come right here to the Warrior Healing Center and you got a place to hang out and celebrate Christmas. On Tuesday, December 26th, starting at 1700 hours and going to 1830 hours, is the Cochise Linux Users Group meeting, and that will be taking place here at the Warrior Healing Center main conference room. Tuesday, December 26th, starting at 1900 hours and going to 2000 hours, is the Thunder Mountain Detachment Marine Corps League monthly meeting that will be taking place here at the Warrior Healing Center in the main conference room. And then on Wednesday, 27 December, starting at 0830, is the Velobet Sierra Vista Group Ride. They will be meeting at the Pueblo del Sol Country Club parking lot on Wednesday, December 27th. So those are the announcements that I have. Again, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. I'll be back next Friday with another guest on December 29th. Again, I want to thank Juanita, Gunny, for coming in and spending time with us this morning. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
guys.
Christmas, sir.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you next week.